crazy busy, but we are getting it done. After this school today, we'll have 3 more to do next week, and should probably get those done. Got a middle school and 2 elementaries, probably get them done in about, hopefully, 4 days, I would say. We should be done by the end of the week. This particular one, we're putting on the cast stone. It's got a lot of dark gray algae growth. And so, as you can see, my guys are up here working hard, getting the job done.
Well, we got 4 people on.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. If you want to see a full power wash video, share this with somebody.
So if you guys have any questions about washing a school district, Tyler is right now washing a really large one. So if you guys got any questions, let us know. But we're just going to show you guys a little bit of the process right now and what that looks like.
Tyler with Powerwash Academy. We are washing it up today. Got a pretty big project. A lot of cast stone cleaning.
How many schools have you washed so far?
We have washed, this is our 6th school. We started, it's our 6th school. This is our 6th day of work, and so making pretty good progress. This one's about in the mid-range of the size of the different ones we're working with.
So we just got a question by Todd Smith. He said, just starting out, how do you scale up to get jobs that size?
Honestly, this customer found us online, and we had done a couple other sizable projects. They had reached out to us to see if we might be able to train their guys to take on this project that they got with all the schools, and once we had started discussing it, they determined that it's probably going to be out of their scope since they don't typically do this. So instead of us training them to do it, they just decided to hire us on and get all the work done. But pretty much they found me online and asked us to step in, so that's how we got it.
So when you first started, obviously you weren't doing jobs this big.
Right.
You had to start somewhere. So how did you go from doing the really small, regular people houses to doing the large real estate?
So that's pretty much with this. We had started out doing houses, normal smaller size houses, and then started getting into a little nicer homes. Things are a little more tricky to do, and randomly got a couple warehouse jobs. People had found us online and called us up, and so those were larger scale projects, but they weren't quite as detail oriented, not quite as risky, you know, just cleaning a warehouse floor, ceiling. But that being said, it was another larger project that we had worked on, and so warehouses are kind of where we got our practice in on taking on bigger jobs, having to work with large equipment like this. And so I mean, just taking on bigger and bigger jobs. I mean, I didn't really directly point myself in this direction, but this is just kind of where it's led. And so.
Well, sweet. So Todd, let us know if that answered your question or not. Charles asked, how much can you charge for that? So I know you don't want to give him the exact number, but in terms of like, I guess charging for large scale jobs, what are some things that you should look for when considering your bid?
Generally on a job like this, you're probably going to be making at least double what you normally would. There's a lot more planning that is involved in it. There's a lot more commitment and risk that you're going to have to take. With this one, they gave gave us 9 schools, and we agreed that we have to get them all done within a certain time frame. And you know, they have to be checked out by the architect, and everything has to be right by the end of that time period. And so, being that we have lifts, we're going through a lot more chemical, having to coordinate up to 5 crews at one time. And so, that being said, it's not just me and one of my guys out washing a house. I've got a lot more work involved. So I would say double to triple what you typically would charge. And you know, they're going to be pretty critical on our work, so you're just going to have to ensure that you're definitely giving them the best possible result. And so that, I guess that would be fair to say. I don't know what you normally charge, but on this one, between double and triple what you normally would charge per square foot.
Well, sweet. So Charles, let us know if that works for you as an answer. Ryan said, always wanted to see a school wash. So now you get to see it. You know, it takes some big things like lifts and multiple teams coordinating that with the project manager, and where's your bleach coming from, and just a whole bunch of different logistics. What are some logistics, Tyler, that you've had to deal with while dealing with 9 school districts?
Dealing with, it's 2 towns and 1 school district, but it's 9 different locations. It's pretty much just, I'm not really washing that much on these projects because I've got so many crews running. I have to be going from school to school and coordinating everybody, making sure everybody has the right chemicals. I mean, every day checking on what we've gone through for our sodium hypochlorite, how much I anticipate for the next day. And so I just loaded up our 3rd large tote SH that we've got going for this project, and we just tapped into it, but this will be about 1,000 gallons of chemical we've gone through so far. So that's quite a bit more than I'm used to dealing with, but it's really similar to the average day-to-day work. You've just got a lot more details that's into it.
So Todd asked, so he was the one that asked about starting out and scaling up. So he's saying, how do you bid commercial jobs like this? So he's asking in terms of like, do you do square feet? Do you do by the building?
Yeah, this one was bid by square footage, and they were actually all bid together as one lump sum. And so all the schools were reviewed, and they gave us a scope of work. And so we basically needed to give them one flat rate per square foot for all of the schools in general. Some of the schools are a lot easier than others, and so I basically took all the numbers from all 9 locations, then we just found the median for those and gave them a flat rate for the whole thing. And it makes it a lot less cumbersome putting up the pricing. You know, we tell them how many square feet per school, they already know what they're getting charged per square foot, and that's how we got our pricing on it.
Sweet, awesome. So Charles said we did answer his question. He said Ryan Hutchinson to me. So I don't know if you remind him of that person, but
I might have to look that up.
Yeah, it's come up on some social media. Yeah, absolutely. Luke Hurd just hopped on. He said, looks fun. Miss you in the industry, buddy. Hope your new job's going well. If you guys have any questions, be sure to shoot them our way. For those of you who are just hopping on, Tyler's washing 9 schools at a very large school district here in the, I'm just going to say Texas, because they want to make sure we keep the name inconspicuous here. So, that's, yeah, if you guys have any questions, it's a very large commercial job. It's over 500,000 square feet. Multiple stories, lifts, multiple teams, just different things like that.
And so the guys up on the lift
awesome,
right now,
Todd. Thanks for letting us know.
We're using pump-up sprayers or backpack sprayers, but we're not on the back. Right now we're putting on about 10% sodium hypochlorite solution on this casting. This particular school, all that we're going to be cleaning is the cast stone. Most of the others we're doing the entire schools, but this one they opted just for the casting. So we're spraying 10% up there, give it a little bit of dwell time. We've got soft wash nozzles to do the rinsing. We're working directly with the mason on this project, so they're real big on protecting the stone and the mortar. Fortunately for us, that's our regular practice to do a soft wash process. In the past, I think they've gotten us so cleaning. This is the first time I've actually soft washed in school. So I know that we're going to deliver much better results than they've gotten in the past. We've far exceeded their expectations on the time frame. They gave us 45 actual work days to get everything completed, and at the rate that we're going, we'll have it done in probably about 12 to 14 days. We'll get it done, but that's involving, say, 4 different companies, 5 different crews out here all at the same time, working on multiple locations at once.
So you're managing 4 crews right now, correct?
Correct.
So how did that come to fruition? You knew you needed a lot of teams.
I did.
And so what was the strategy you went about to find these people and make sure that they were good enough to meet the standard of excellence?
Okay, so that's a good question. A couple of the crews that are working with us, I've worked with in the past. When they were starting out, they asked us for help on a couple of jobs, so we went out and helped them take care of that. And then, we had each other's numbers in case we needed any help. Now I've got a good idea of how some of these people work. This crew up here, they've worked with me for years and years. Mario up on the left, he's very well, very well capable, I guess we can say, for lack of a better word. But I know he provides good work, and he works excellent with driving a lift, so that's a huge help. But I know his quality of work is good. Just networking with people in our area, I don't have the point of view that competition is a bad thing. I mean, we're not ever really competing for the same jobs. It'd be very rare that happens, but I know a couple reputable people that work in this area that are used to working on large-scale jobs like this, and so maintaining friendships with your competition has been a huge part of this. We work well together. We pay each other well. I mean, it's a win-win to stay in good terms with all the other people in the industry, from my point of view. So that's been huge. I reached out to a couple of them. They kind of collaborated on who all wanted to come out, and so we got all of those companies out here working with us.
Well, sweet. So what are some of the biggest differences between what you normally do and this? So usually we see you washing really nice, big residential buildings, and today we see you washing commercial. So you're washing really big schools.
That I'm noticing?
Yeah. What are some of the big differences that you notice from this job versus the big, fancy real estate that you're usually doing?
These are quite a bit easier to work on. It's a big commercial property. We don't have a bunch of things to work around, like landscaping and things like that. There are plenty of plants and bushes, but pretty much everything they put in here is a tough plant that can take some abuse. We're still treating them well and rinsing everything like we normally do, but I'm not concerned with dragging a hose through a flower bed full of delicate flowers or a little bit of mist blowing off in the wrong direction and killing a tree. Everything that's on this job site is pretty tough. The construction is tough, and everything's real easy to get to. We don't have to get on a roof to get a tough spot on a chimney or anything like that. I mean, the toughest thing is these high areas, and we're just getting on a lift and getting directly on it. So that's really easy to do.
Well, let us know if you guys can hear us too with this lift going on. If we gotta scoot back. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move back a little bit just so that way you guys can hear them a little better. Because yeah, it is a little loud. So yeah, guys, for those who are just hopping on, go ahead and ask some questions if you have any. We're washing 9 schools. It's a big school district. This is a big commercial job. Usually we see Tyler washing these really big real estate. Usually it's very nice houses from people who are really well off, and so today's a little different. How does interacting with the client vary? So usually you're dealing with a homeowner. Today you're not dealing with a homeowner.
Yeah, that's quite a difference also. With this one, there's a chain of command, so it's not just me and the homeowner. It's me and then probably, I think, about 5 other people above me that I'm going to have to answer to as far as quality of work, or they're real big on staying in communication as far as where we're at, where we're going to be next, and they've got other contractors here too. So there's a few schools that we're going to start next week. We planned on getting them started this week, but they're caulking the joints and things like that, the sidewalks and around the buildings. So it's similar to the larger homes where you've got landscapers or pool guys or whatever the case may be. That I don't know why people always want to do everything at the same time, but it's similar in that sense. But we've got a lot more people to please as far as the chain of command. I've spoken with several levels of that, But and then the final say-so comes down to the architect once we're done with the work to get his approval. And I've never met him, so I can't win him over with my personality. I'm just gonna have to let my work speak for itself.
So there's a lot of red tape, essentially.
There is. But that being said, that I wouldn't necessarily say that's a complication or a difficulty that we deal with. But that being said, that's why I want to ensure that we price this accordingly, because there is a potential for, more hassle, I guess you would say. I mean, I don't want to say it in a negative way, but
right.
There will be a lot more people judging our work and need approval from multiple people. So.
No, that makes sense. So for people who are hopping on who may be a little newer to the industry, how much experience do you think one should have before even thinking about acquiring a job like this? Do you think there is a limit in that if they feel confident they should just go take it?
That's a good question. I would say, I mean, the experience of actual washing may not be quite as critical as experience in dealing with large-scale projects. I mean, we've got, that's a good question. You would need enough experience to know how to properly get this done so that you can ensure the crews are all doing the work in the way that you approve of. But I didn't start taking on bigger jobs just because I wasn't quite confident that everything was going to go smoothly. I mean, I was probably washing smaller things like driveways and small homes and a few restaurants. I was probably about 2 years in before I started taking on anything bigger like warehouse jobs. And that being said, it took a while for my name to get out there and for people to start finding me on Google to consider us for that sort of work. So I think that your managerial skills probably are going to be more important than your actual power washing skills for this. If your crews know what they're doing and they're doing a good job. This project has been a lot more about management than it has for washing on my part of the work. And so that's how long should you be in the industry before you get into this? That's all going to come down to the person. I mean, some people are naturals at things and some people have to work a lot harder. Some people are better at just washing gas stations and things like that, where they don't deal with people at night, and they may not have the social skills to deal with something like this. But other people might, you may be able to have them ready to roll in a few weeks.
So Todd asked a really great question. How do you find quality employees?
That's a very good question. So most of my good employees over the years have been from word of mouth from somebody else that I know. I've tried a few other sources where you put your job up on a website and then people fill out an application, but I've found that has been costly and not quite as effective as I wanted, because just everybody and their dog wants to be a power washing guy, and it's crazy the people that are out looking for work are just not the kind of people I'm used to dealing with. And so I've found a couple of decent people off of Indeed, but that's 2 out of maybe 500 applicants that I've either reviewed or hired on for training, and they just didn't cut it. So I've found a couple, but the finding good employees is the biggest question that I have for myself too. Once I figure that out, I'll be a happy guy. I'm looking for guys right now to work with us, full or part-time, day or nighttime, but we're pretty selective on who's going to be out there putting our name, on their work. And so finding people who are going to show up on time, don't have a bunch of excuses, and it seems like some of these grown men are more like children with all of their excuses and problems that they have. But you'll find good ones here and there. But to answer your question, it's been referrals from other people that I know who already understand what this company is about and what we are going to expect out of the employees. So
hopefully that answered your question, Todd. If you guys got questions, please leave them down in the chat. We'd be more than happy to answer them. This is this big commercial job, guys. So I mean, Tyler's done everything from real estate, big mansions, tiny houses, big schools now. If you got any questions, feel free to ask, guys. Don't hold back. I mean, this is a great opportunity to do it. Tyler's the guy who teaches our house washing course for Powerwash Academy. And so if you do want to get some hands-on training with Tyler, our Power Wash Academy hands-on boot camp. You can shadow him on some jobs and get hands-on with his equipment and see his techniques and strategies and things like that. So, but yeah, guys, feel free to fire away. We appreciate you hopping on. Make sure you guys like and share this. We appreciate your support. So he's located in Texas, specifically the DFW area. Powerwash.com is located in Fort Worth. So that is where the physical location of the training is. So if you don't live down here, you'll have to make a trip. We get people from all over, though. I mean, we've had people from California, Florida, from coast to coast. So it might be a little bit of a trip, but Tyler's class just seems to be the one that gets the most positive feedback because he's so hands-on and he wants you to give it a try. So great question, though. Great question. Thank you so much for that, Martin. That is a great question, James. Hey, Tyler, so we got a question for you. So James just asked, what's the insurance for lifts and what's the training required to run one?
I mean, there's a training course that you can take. It's similar to like a forklift operator license course that you can take. And I think it's like 1 day long that you can take to get certified for lift and forklift stuff. The insurance on this, we get the insurance to the people who own the equipment, and I mean, that's a few $100s for us to have that for, I think, a week. But you can have your own insurance through your own company if you want, but it's here and there that we use a lift, so I don't keep that kind of coverage on my own insurance. Does that answer the question? Did I get all of that question?
Let us know if that answered your question, James. Awesome question. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Pre-soak a lot of this before we get up there. Pre-soak is good as well time. Okay. I mean, that did turn out looking good up there. Yeah. We're kind of testing for a while, doing multiple applications.
Awesome. Glad to hear, James. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Shit out of it, and then move up and continue doing what you're doing. I just want to give it a little bit more dwell time, and we need. I'm not certain, but this area right here, you can see we got a couple of lighter patches on there.
On the middle school area?
And some of it kind of has rundowns, so we might have to rinse that off again or do something to free that back up.
I'm wondering if the rundown is rust from whatever's anchoring the...
Yeah, it might be. If you look to the right...
I would show you guys what they're looking at, but it's right underneath the school name, so we can't show that for because the administration said that is a no-no, but yeah, we got some streaking going on the sign right now, so they're right now discussing what's the best way to address that situation, because not sure if it's growth or rust or some kind of mineral deposit of a sort.
Yeah, we'll go back over the whole thing, for sure.
So Tyler, well, what Martin said, North Texas over here as well. I'm trying to get like him.
Keep working. It's not undoable. I'm really surprised that we've gotten to the point that we're at. Started off just me by myself with one machine, washing a couple, $100 driveways here and there, and sticking with it. And times were tough in the beginning to get customers and to get the money to be able to survive off of, but just hang in there and always do your best job, even on a tiny job, all the way up, obviously, to your bigger ones. But just doing good work and putting a good name for yourself out there. Hang in there, and it will come. A lot of people get started in this, and they're just like, I want to get rich real quick. I'm going to buy a pressure washer. They make so much money, but that's only a fraction of what it actually takes to keep it going and making sure everybody's totally satisfied. I mean, 99 out of 100 customers are satisfied with everything we do.
So James, is the school closed? So the school is not closed. I'm not really sure what you're referring to in terms of orange cones. If you're talking about for this job site,
school is out. There are people coming in and out of certain different schools, like the high school we just left. They've got a couple of sports things going in there where they're doing some training and practicing. In this one, yesterday, they had a bunch of kids in the gym doing, I guess it was a volleyball team doing their practice. So school's not actually in. The traffic is really slow, and that's good, especially with the fact that we've got chemicals dripping down around the entrances. But school is out, and minimal flow of people in and out.
Great question, though. I thought you were talking about Power Wash Academy. I was like, I don't think. I mean,
I mean, it's closed for today.
Today, yeah, I guess, yeah. Unless you're doing it
online. We
online.
have another Power Wash Academy boot camp coming up in August. I'm not certain. I want to say it's around the 6th or the 7th. But if any of you guys are looking for some hands-on training and you get to ask your own specific questions in a real life work scenario, I highly recommend checking us out. You can go to Power Wash Academy online, get an idea of what all they offer. It's was it a 5-day boot camp, am I right?
Yeah, we're starting to break them up into like if you only want to do house wash, you can. I don't know if that's actually active yet, but
in the past it's been pretty much to where you sign up for the whole boot camp. They teach you all the different aspects. If you have something specifically that you want to learn, then you can select individual classes out of the 5-day boot camp and attend those. If you're out of town, we'll arrange to find you a hotel that's nearby and get you to and from the work sites that we're going to be working on. And but yeah, I think that's August 6th and 7th, if I recall. So, but yeah, check it out online and see if it's something you want to be a part of. I know that when I first started, I worked for about a year or so figuring out some stuff on my own, but that was what was kind of holding me back. I was intimidated about messing anything up or, not being able to handle a certain job, so I was sticking to easy stuff like driveways and patios and, easy restaurant work and things like that. But once I took a class, that was huge for me. That sent me in the right direction. I was able to ask all the questions that I was wondering about, and that was monumental for me. So I do suggest you guys take a class, not just because I teach it, but it helped me so much. I would recommend it for anybody.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Todd. We appreciate your interaction in the chat and asking some awesome questions. So the name of the site for the academy is Powerwash.com. So if you type in Powerwash Academy on Google or powerwashacademy.com, it should take you to the webpage, and it should give you the information. We have many different courses from online to hands-on. So you get to pick what you really want. With the 5-day mobile boot camp, like he said, we are in the works of breaking it up. So if you don't want to take all 5 days, you don't have to. But you will go over wood restoration and cleaning. You will go over residential cleaning. So Tyler will usually take you on a job site that's pretty nice. I mean, he specializes in nice real estate, so it's usually really big houses. So you'll go on a job site with him, do roof washing, house washing, some concrete cleaning, depending on what's going on and what the group wants to do. He'll take you guys to go pop gum or do pretty much, you just tell him what you want to do and he'll do it. And then we do truck washing or fleet washing. So we have a wash bay here next to Powerwash.com called Steamaway. It is another entity that Mr. Hindeleiter owns, and so you'll go across there and you'll get some hands-on washing some vehicles with the equipment that they have, and they'll teach you some techniques and tips and tricks of the trade. And then the 5th day is going to be some marketing. It's going to be some how to get yourself out there, different ways for you to grow your business as an entrepreneur. So that's what not kitchen exhaust cleaning, wood restoration, fleet washing, residential, and there's one more that is slipping my mind at the moment. Well, there's 5 days, so. All right. So, James, what pump is he using for this job, and how long is his hose? So that is a great question. He is on the phone. So as soon as he's off the phone, I will have him answer that question for you. And let me see. Martin, of course, thank you so much for your interaction and commenting and asking some awesome questions. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys leave a like. It helps us and helps the algorithm so we can get our videos out there more to people like you guys. You guys have been super supportive. Without you guys, Tyler would have never even gotten this job. So you guys have had a huge impact on his professional career. And he's had a ton of joy just helping you guys out and making these videos for you guys. He pretty much does this for fun because we ask him to. He doesn't really get anything out of it. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch his videos and show him so much love like you guys have. So Thank you guys. I'm gonna walk over to his trailer, show you guys some of the equipment he's using. Whenever he's off the phone, he'll probably come down and explain what kind of equipment he has running on his truck.
Yeah,
So
I'll go there 1 second. Let me confirm.
yeah, he's handling some phone calls real quick. So this is his rig down here with this trailer. And I'll explain to you guys what I know. Again, I'm the videographer and photographer, so all the videos you guys see, I'm the guy who makes them. So if I don't know everything, please forgive me, but I know a decent amount of stuff, so hopefully I can walk you guys through a couple of things while he's down there handling some phone calls. So this guy right here is going to be his soft wash machine. So this is the Stallion. So it is 11 gallons a minute at 300 psi. This guy is a gas-powered diaphragm pump, and that is the knowledge I have on this guy. He has some hose reels here. They're electric. It's just his favorite way to roll, and so he has his pressure hose, chemical hose, and then his water hose. And then this would be his sodium hypochloride or bleach. And then that's going to be his batch mixing setup right there. So he has another rig where he has a proportioner system, but this is the one that they decided to bring out today. Massive water tank here, and then this is the machine he's using on the back of this truck. So this is not one of our machines, but this one does a really good job for him. I believe he said this was a hydrochem machine, and I don't know exactly the specs on it or anything like that. But again, Tyler will be over here to answer some of your guys' questions as soon as he finishes handling some of that contractors type business down there. So yeah, feel free to load up with some questions here, so that way he can answer. He'll have a bunch to answer for you guys. If you have any questions about his rigs, his setups, he has a couple of trucks. He has a couple of teams that he sends out. And so if you guys have any questions even about that, not really about the equipment, feel free. But I'm sure he'll be more than happy to help run down exactly what he does. This guy here, this washdown gun, I don't know if you guys can see that. That thing is awesome. And if you got one of these guys, or even the Maverick, that guy is the best thing I've ever seen for applying chemical. And I feel like everybody needs one, whether you guys get it from us or not. They're called washdown guns, and I think they're by General Pump. And pretty much you get a assassin nozzle or a fan tip all in one, and it's just by squeezing the trigger. So if you guys haven't seen that, those things are awesome. And 10 out of 10, recommend. I mean, Tyler doesn't do it without it anymore. So all right, let's see. What's this man doing here? Gotta keep the... all right, let's see.
Okay.
So one of the main questions that we had was, what pump is he using for the job, and how long is his hose?
Okay. So we've got 300 for our soft wash. Most of the buildings, we're washing the whole building. So we're using our big soft wash machine. This reel is maxed out. This is a 300-foot capacity reel, and it is full of 300 foot of pressure hose, or of soft wash hose. On our pressure side, we generally keep 200 feet on the reel. As you know, the longer the hose, the less pressure you're going to have. But on these ones, sometimes we're running 300 to 400 foot of hose on the pressure washer because we're soft washing everything. We don't really rely on too much pressure. We've got our soft wash unit here. And we've got a couple. Actually, we got 3 of these units. This is typically, we've used the ones that have the Honda motors. This one's the Vanguard motor, and there was a time when I wasn't real wild about Vanguard stuff, but this motor that they have put on this machine, they have really stepped it up in their quality. There were noticeable differences. You know, they are a little bit cheaper, but there were noticeable differences in quality. But this new version of their motors that they're putting out, I'm really impressed with them. They run really well, which this one's probably only got maybe 50 to 60 hours on it, but the controls are real nice. You know, the automatic shut off, no more key or switch to flip it on and off. You just turn off your gas and it automatically kills the engine. It's been really efficient on fuel. Let's see, this is a 6.5 horsepower motor, so that's plenty to get that Comet pump pushing us, you know, around 40 to 50 feet with our soft wash gun. We are running same guns that I've showed you in the past, but we're running these spray down guns, and that gives us the capability of spraying a light cone mist, or if you squeeze it all the way, you can get a direct stream out of it. You don't get quite as much distance if you're using the full-on stream as you would with a normal wash gun with a lance on it, but this is better for us because we're not always spraying up high on a building. A lot of times we're doing stuff that's up close, or you just need to put a light mist on something, and I don't want 11 gallons a minute of chemical spraying out, but that's what we're working with on that. This particular trailer, we've got a batch mix tank, so we take the sodium hypochlorite out of a drum and add it into this tank, and then fill it the rest with the water to make our dilution the way that we want it. A few of our other rigs that we're running, we've got proportioning systems on there. I'm using a Sidewinder on one of my trucks, and so we keep everything separate, bleach water and surfactant, and we just dial those in to the way that we want. And that is a little more efficient on time, but it is more equipment that you need to maintain, and this is a super simple setup, and it works great. So I'm still happy with keeping this trailer running like this. As you can see, these things take a beating and they get rusted pretty quickly. I mean, this trailer is probably only maybe 3 years old or so, and it looks like it's about 100 years old, but we've still got a little bit more life in it, so we'll run it until it's time to get a fresh one. But I think we're about due for one. Maybe after this project we'll get our equipment, peel it off of here, sand this one down, throw a new coat of paint on it, and get another trailer, or we may reuse this one. But they do get ugly over time. As careful as I try to be with everything, it still finds a way to start breaking down all the paint and metal, start rusting. But if you're making money along the way, that's okay. I guess that's just the cost of doing business. But we're doing a lot of these touch-ups are going to be with our regular pump-up sprayers. We do have a couple backpack sprayers that we're using. They're electric, and they're nice battery-powered 18-volt batteries, so they're good. You know, a lot of people mention, oh God, don't ever use a backpack sprayer, it's going to leak all over you. But generally, whenever we start a project, we buy a brand new pump, and if they're going to go on our back, they're generally brand new or thoroughly inspected. But we rotate those in and out, so I don't ever really get into a point where it's going to be breaking down before we're changing it out with another one. They are, you know, they're an added expense, but for what they can do for the cost, they're totally worth the money, in my opinion.
So Martin asked, roughly how much does a job like that cost? So I know you're trying to stay away from specifics. Yeah. So I know that there's different ways to approach it, from square foot to building, right. And with that, it varies in price.
Sure.
Is there maybe like a range or like a gap that you can probably expect, or is that even too much for you?
That's going to be tough to say.
Okay.
I mean, that's like saying how much does a car cost. I mean, depending on what you're going to get out of it is going to determine the final cost, but I don't really feel comfortable talking about money. I'll say that it is profitable, and I'm definitely blessed to be a part of this project, and I think that probably speak enough for itself, but I don't know. I don't know why I feel uneasy talking about money. It's good money, and power washing is decent money to begin with, but if you can get one of these big projects rolling, it's good.
And so we have a really important question here. So Nick Crad said, what is the hair care routine? That's the only true question to be answered.
Yes, that is a great question.
I've actually gotten that a lot on social media.
Oh man, I wash it twice a week, and that's it. Easy peasy. Natural curls. I can't believe I have hair like this, but I just one day decided to stop cutting it, and here I am. I used to be a clean cut guy. Haircut every 2 weeks, clean shaven all the time, but I don't know what's going on in my life right now. I guess I'm just taking on the madman outdoorsy look. But great question, Nick.
Martin said respect with the prayer hands emoji.
All right.
Yes, sir. Well, hey guys, do you have any other questions for my man Tyler here? Because he is more than happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, Nick Crad said pure genetics. Yeah. Strong.
And we might go live again here in just a little bit. I'm gonna have to break off from here. There's another school in South Lake that I need to go do an estimate for, and hopefully land that one as well. So I'm going to take off from these job sites for about an hour, and then we'll be back over here. We're shooting. We're going to be putting together a video for you guys that is a little more information on the project, so you can keep an eye out for our video here in the next week or two. It's not necessarily all about washing like our videos typically are. It's kind of more along the lines of the question you guys are asking today about how to get a project, how to manage it, and you know, the different aspects that I have to deal with on running a project like this. So appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.
Got like find this call real quick. So a few awesome comments. So Martin said he's like the Jesus of power washing. And then oh man, the chat keeps disappearing. Reggie Bryce said, "What's up, guys? Met Tyler at the Huge last year. Great
That's
dude."
Reggie?
Yeah, Reggie Bryce.
Okay, cool.
And then
Reggie.
and then Nick said, "Extend my thanks to him. He's an incredible instructor. Appreciate y'all." And that's Nick Crad.
Thank you, Nick.
And that one. And then the question that we had was, where are you getting these large jobs from? So I know you've kind of answered this a little bit already.
So a lot of it, it's ending up now, a majority of my work is coming from word of mouth. I don't pay for any sort of advertising. I just try to, which I've got a web page and I've got a Google thing so that people can kind of get an idea, look at pictures and read reviews of other customers. But typically we get work off of Google. A lot of the time it is taking good care of somebody, and then, you know, it may be years before I hear back from somebody, but maintaining good relationships with everyone. And you never know, you know, this could be somebody you think is just a one-time thing and don't care much about it or don't put much attention into giving them the attention that they need. So I try to provide every customer like they're my only customer and that they mean the world to me, which they do. And that's, the word of mouth is the absolute best way to land a job. And so if somebody's friend or their family member or something refers us out, especially on the bigger homes and things like that, there's not really any questioning of price or anything like that. They would like to know how much it would cost, but pretty much the main question is, when can we get them in? And so they already know, they've already heard from somebody that they trust what they can get out of hiring us for the work. So word of mouth is probably my biggest thing. You guys watching these videos is actually huge. You guys commenting and liking and all this. I didn't think it was going to turn into what it is. We just were kind of making these for fun, in my opinion, to begin with. And the support from you guys, it's crazy because I'm a YouTube viewer too, and I don't think it means that much when I watch somebody's video and like it and all that. But in the big scope of things, now that I'm on the other end of the camera, it is a big deal. I mean, it helps these videos get out to new people. This one, the guy actually had seen some of our videos, and instead of wanting to be trained by, they knew that we did the training, but instead of the training, they watched some of the videos and saw kind of how we are, and that was a big deciding factor for him in hiring us for this job. And so being resourceful with your contacts is a huge part, and just keep business cards on you everywhere you go. I mean, even if you're out with your family or something, keep a couple cards on you, and if you see a manager, drop a card on them. If you see something that needs attention, a lot of the stuff like that is smaller. Sometimes you'll never come across somebody who's running a big project like this, but you handing out your card to as many people as you can, it's going to get dropped on somebody's desk at some point, and it will be somebody who's a decision maker on big projects.
So Ninja K said, "Thanks for sharing the knowledge as always. God bless you all." Isaiah Castaneda said, "Hands down, the most helpful channel I've seen. Appreciate the thorough breakdown and strategies you use."
Heck yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate you watching them.
James Brown said, "This live was awesome. Thanks for sharing." And then Martin Pressure Washing Services says, "Man, I feel this dude knowledge can make my business succeed in the future. I'm definitely going to check out August boot camp."
Heck yeah.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah, Martin. That's
Very
exciting to hear. If you do it, man, you'll be able to work hand in hand with this legend here.
It.
So,
and the class is great. I mean, we'll be able to answer all of your questions. We'll go through a normal house wash or roof wash, whatever the project may be for that day, and you can ask your questions as to what you would need to do in this situation. But after the class is over, you're going to have my personal phone number, and so I'm with you to help you guys out. Like I say, I don't get paid to answer phone calls or help you guys, but it means a lot to me to help y'all after the class is over. So I mean, I get probably 5 to 10 calls a week from past students who are taking on a new or bigger job. They may be intimidated or just don't know what to do in this or that situation. All you got to do is call me up. I'll pick up my phone if I'm not spraying them behind the gun, and be able to help you. And so it's not just during the class. After it's over with, I'll be your friend from now on and be able to help you out with it. So I'm all about helping the industry. I know how much it meant to me to get help when I first got started and had a lot of questions, and I'm very grateful for those who were able to provide that to me. So now that's the guy I want to be, is the one helping you guys out. So appreciate the comments, and I love the feedback. Thank you very much.
Well, sweet, guys. Do you have any other questions before we end this live? Because I know he has to go quote another school. So if you got any questions, shoot them now or forever hold your peace. And remember, you guys, make sure you guys like this video. It really helps us out. We appreciate your guys' support. You guys have done so much for us, and we love making these videos to help you guys. I love making the YouTube videos. Out of all the jobs I have at Powerwash.com, this one's definitely one of my favorites. So. All right, well, I don't see any other questions or comments coming through, so we're going to go ahead and end this, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the love, and I'll try to send it back your way soon. Talk to you later. Y'all ready? Let's do it. That's